From Vin Diesel's house, where I've been spending the last 20 minutes trying to explain to him why Santa isn't driving a turbocharged car. This is Kurt Berglund with Pine Tar Baseball, Negro League's great team tournament action. We are in round one. These are best of three contests, and we've come back around to the second game of the first series that we started with, and that is the 1917 Chicago American Giants at the 1933 Chicago American Giants. Two very, very different ball clubs, even though they're part of the same franchise. In 1917, some of the best dead ball players of Negro League's history, people like Pop Lloyd and Frank Wickware and Bingo DeMoss and Bruce Petway, were making kind of a last run at a title, and they got the job done by being fundamentally almost perfect and scoring when they had the opportunity. The 1933 Chicago American Giants were a team that was built more on offense. They had a couple of good pitchers, but not a lot of pitching depth, even for that time period. And they had sluggers. They had people like Willie Wells and Steel Arm Davis and Mule Suttles and Alec Radcliffe, names that you might know from Negro League's history and from East-West games, All-Star games at Comiskey Park. In the first game of the series, didn't really know what to expect or which team would really be favored. But what happened was that Willie Foster went to the mound for the Chicago American Giants of 1933 and was very, very good. He allowed only 4 hits and he allowed only 2 runs. But Cannonball Dick Redding was even better. For the 1917 club, he threw a 6-hit shutout against a team that you would not figure to be shut out very often in this tournament, if they even get out of the first round. So the 17 club won 2-0, and while they are the visiting club tonight, they are only 1 win away from moving on to the second round and eliminating the 33 club, one that you could make a case could certainly be capable of making a deep run in this tournament. So it should be an interesting game to see if the 33s can even the score or if the 17s finish the job and get to move on. One thing of note is that the team that does win this series, in the second round, they move on and play the 1931 Homestead Grays, the top seed in the entire tournament. A thankless task for one of these two teams. Let's get to the starting lineups and get rolling. For the 1917 Chicago American Giants, leading off in left field, it's Frank Duncan. Batting second at third base, it's Bill Francis. Batting third and center field, Hall of Famer Pete Hill. Batting fourth at shortstop, Hall of Famer John Henry Lloyd. Batting fifth at right field, Jesse Barber. Batting sixth at first base, Leroy Grant. Batting seventh at second base, Bingo DeMoss. Batting eighth and doing the catching, it's Bruce Petway. And batting ninth for the 17s, and on the mound today, Tom Williams, a right-hander with 14 starts on their season. He is an A-plus pitcher on the road, and he has no strikeout or walk modifiers. For the homestanding 1933 Chicago American Giants, Willie Wells leads off at shortstop. Steel Arm Davis bats second in left field. Turkey Stearns bats third in center field. Nat Rogers bats fourth in right field. Mule Suttles bats fifth and plays first base. Alex Radcliffe bats sixth and plays third base. Larry Brown bats 7th and does the catching. And Jack Marshall bats 8th and plays second base. On the mound for the 1933 version of the Chicago American Giants, it's Willie Powell. Pigmeat was his nickname. He is an A pitcher at home. He becomes a B pitcher the third time through the order. He has no strikeout or walk modifiers. Both of these pitchers tonight are right-handers. And we are ready to go in Chicago. So let's get this thing rolling. Frank Duncan leading off. And that is a fly ball to right field where Nat Rogers is going to call for it and take it. And we are underway in Game 2 of this Round 1 matchup. Bill Francis comes to the plate. 201 batting average in 1917. A lot of these averages are depressed for the 17s because this was dead ball baseball. And that's ball 4 Francis takes, and he is aboard, and he has a 325 on base average, which tells you something about his season, considering he only hit 201. So a good eye for him. Pete Hill at the plate, one of the best players in Negro League's history, maybe top 10, maybe top 5. The pitch to Hill is an error check. We have our first error check. It's popped, and it is first base. That's Suttles on the run, and it's off his glove. We've got an error on Mule Suttles. It's a one-base error. That'll move Francis to second base, and the 17s are loving this. The idea of an early lead in a game that they can use to eliminate and their opponent and move on to round 2 is looking big. Powell to the belt. The pitch to John Henry Lloyd. I would say definitely a top 5 Negro Leagues player. Is a fly ball to right field. Let's see if we got a tagging situation. Rogers under it. Francis on second. He will tag and try for third, and he holds. Bluffs the move and comes back, so we have first and second with 2 outs for Jesse Barber. Right fielder, left-handed batting right fielder for the 17s. Powell to the belt again. The pitch to Jesse is trouble. It's a base hit to right field. This is going to drop in front of Rogers. And they are waving Francis around. Rogers has an average arm. We're going to have a play at the plate. And Francis scores on Barber's single, and Hill advances to third. So there are Giants at the corners, 17s at the corners, and it's 1-0. The 17 ball club takes a first inning lead in this one. Powell still in a jam to the belt, facing Leroy Grant. The pitch home. Is a ground ball to shortstop, but we've got a 0 result, so we check the modifier table, and it stays a ground ball to short, so Wells is going to flip to Marshall the short way to retire the 17. So on one hit, they break out on top. They leave 2. And they lead 1-0 after a half an inning. The 17s won. The 33s coming up against Tom Williams. Probably just a shade better in his career at this point than Willie Powell was at his. But that 33 offense can do a lot of damage. Willie Wells, an all-time great. Any league, any place, anytime, anywhere. Base hit for Wells to lead off the game to right field. He takes Johnson the other way, and he is aboard. Now they can do some things. They've got a base runner. Steel Arm Davis coming to the plate. Let's see what they want to do. We got to check Petway's arm. Bruce Petway is a -6. Wells is a 79. That knocks him to a 73. The first inning, let's see what they do. Williams to the belt, the pitch to Davis. Wells not going, at least not yet. 36, we got an error check. It's popped, and it's Pop Lloyd. And Lloyd will make the catch in short left field for the out. One gone in the 33's first inning, and now it's Turkey Stearns, and now you get into trouble. Turkey Stearns, another all-time great. Rogers on deck, and then you got Suttles after him. Williams to the belt. There goes Wells. Stearns takes. Wells goes. The throw from Petway to DeMoss. The tag, not in time. Wells steals second base, and he's in scoring position for Stearns now. The count 0-1 to Turkey. Williams working on him. Checks Wells at second. The pitch home to Turkey Stearns is a 67. That's a ground ball to Lloyd. Pop checks him at second and throws across to Grant, and that's 2 gone in the first inning. And now it's Nat Rogers, who hit .313 on the season, can certainly drive in a run. Wells working on his lead. There's 2 men out. The pitch from Williams is a ground ball to third. That's gloved by Francis. He's going to throw to Grant, and that will retire the 33s in the first inning. They have a chance, but do not score. After 1, the 17s lead 1-0. Now in the second inning, it'll be DeMoss, Petway, and then the pitcher, Tom Williams, coming up for the 17s. If you're going to beat these 17s, you better take advantage of every mistake. You better take advantage of every opportunity you have. The pitch, DeMoss takes, that's ball 4. He's aboard with a walk. Powell's second walk of the ball game, his first, scored in the first inning. Petway comes to the plate. Not much offense from Bruce at this point in his career. Probably the dead ball catcher from the Negro Leagues. We'll see what they decide to do with him. DeMoss works on his lead. The pitch to Petway. He squares. He bunts. He bunts it right back to Powell. Powell turns and throws to Wells covering second, and they get DeMoss. And so the sacrifice does not work. Petway beats the rap at first base, and now it's going to be Williams. Tom Williams comes to the plate. Not a great hitting pitcher, not a disaster with the bat either, so we'll see what happens here. Powell to the belt. Pitch to Williams. He's bunting. He gets it down. Yes, bunted toward Radcliffe, who throws to Suttles, and that is a perfectly executed sacrifice as Petway moves up to second base, and they have another runner in scoring position now with 2 outs for Duncan. Duncan is 0 for 1. Petway is on second base. Powell to the belt. The pitch to Frank. There's no modifier. So it's just the result. This is hit to right. That's Nat Rogers coming on, and he will make the catch for out number 3. We've played 1.5. It's the 17s 1, the 33s nothing at Chicago's Comiskey Park, old Comiskey Park. Tom Williams back out. He will face the 5, 6, and 7 hitters. That's Mule Suttles, Alex Radcliffe, and Larry Brown. Not the Redskins running back. The pitch to Mule is he takes ball 4, and Suttles strolls down to first. That's the second time they have had their leadoff batter aboard. But this time, their leadoff batter does not have much in the way of stolen base acumen. So we'll see if Mule stays put. Radcliffe at the plate. Williams to the belt. The pitch. Ground ball Lloyd. Pop gloves it. Throws to DeMoss for 1. The relay to Grant, not in time. Radcliffe beats the wrap. And the 17s just get 1 of the 2 possible outs. So that brings up Brown with 1 out and Radcliffe on first. We'll check his speed. He's a 74 with a C opportunity. And Brown comes up. Definitely a threat with the stick. Williams to the belt. The pitch. Base hit. Brown, center field, drops in front of Hill. Radcliffe hurriedly gets to second base before Hill can fire it back in. There's 2 on now with 1 out for the 33s. And Marshall will come to the plate. Jack hit .252 on the season. Double play opportunity. Powell is on deck. And this is a base hit to right. Charged hard by Barber. Radcliffe will hold. The bases are dripping with 33s. Radcliffe on third, Brown on second, Marshall at first. And now Powell coming to the plate with the bases loaded. Now, Willie, also not great with the stick, but not a disaster either. They could do a number of things here. There's 1 man out. They obviously want to avoid a double play. They got to get a tie out of this, you would think. Williams to the belt, checks the runners. The pitch home, the squeeze is on. Powell squares. And gets it down. Francis gloves it, throws to Grant. The sacrifice works. The squeeze works to perfection. A run scores. Radcliffe from third. Brown advances to third. And Marshall moves up to second. The score is tied at 1. Fans loving this kind of baseball. With 2 outs now, there's 2 runners in scoring position for Willie Wells, who can certainly drive him home. Willie singled and stole a base in the first inning. Williams, this is the first run of the series that just scored for the 33s. Williams to the belt, the pitch to Willie. We have no modifier, so that's a fly ball to Hill. In his tracks, he will take it, and that is out number 3. The 33s score 1 on 2 hits. They leave 2. We go to the third, and we're tied at 1. This is a battle. This series is a battle. Teams are not very much alike, but that doesn't mean these clubs aren't scrapping and fighting. Willie Powell back on the mound. Remember, he will drop the third time through the order to a B rating. Francis, Hill, and Lloyd coming to the plate for the 17s in the third. Pitch to Francis is an error check. It's a pop-up. It's, let's see. It's the pitcher. It's Powell, and he drops the ball. That's a one-base error. Francis is aboard with the lead run for the 17s. And Pete Hill is at the plate. Now, Pete Hill can certainly execute the bunt, but he's got an on-base percentage of .381, so this is an interesting question. Powell to the belt, the pitch to Hill. He's not bunting. It's a ground ball third, gloved by Radcliffe. He's going to throw to Suttles as Francis hurriedly gets down to second base. So Hill does advance the runner even though he doesn't bunt. Francis is safe at second. And with one out and a man in scoring position, it's Pop Lloyd. 301, the offensive force of the ball club in 1917. He's 0 for 1 in the game today. Powell to the belt, checks Francis, the pitch home to Pop Lloyd. Ground ball, Wells. He's charging it in front of Francis. Francis takes off for third. Wells makes the play to Suttles, and Francis advances to third base. Aggressive base running by the 17s, but you got to expect that. This is dead ball baseball. So 2 outs, Francis at third, and Barber coming to the plate. Barber drove in the first run of the game back in the first inning. Powell to the belt, the pitch to Jesse. Ground ball, Wells. He's up with it. Throws to Suttles, and the 17s are retired. So we've played 2.5, and we're tied at 1 at Comiskey. Coming up for the 33s against Tom Williams in the third, it's Steel Arm Davis, Turkey Stearns, Nat Rogers, 2, 3, and 4 batters for the 33s. Davis is 0 for 1. The pitch to him is looped to right field. It's going to drop in front of Barber. He's on with a base hit, and for the third time, the 33s have their leadoff batter aboard. Now it's Turkey Stearns, and he will not be bunting. Not with a .600 slugging percentage and a .418 on base average. He's the third place hitter, and I think one of the best. Certainly one of my favorites in Negro League history. 0 for 1 for Turkey on the day. The pitch from Williams. And as soon as I say that, he hits this high, but not too deep, to Pete Hill in center field, his counterpart, and Pete Hill makes the catch for the first out in the third inning. Now it's Nat Rogers. Rogers is 0 for 1. Pitch from Williams. Hit to center. Pete Hill once more, and that's 2 gone. And now Mule Suttles, who walked in the second. Last chance, maybe, for the 33s this inning, as Davis is still planted on first base. The pitch from Williams is grounded to third. That is Francis, who will throw to first. That's Grant, and that will retire the 33s in the third inning, so we are a third of the way through this one. After 3 complete, it's 1-1 between these two versions of the same franchise, the Chicago American Giants. So in the fourth, against Powell, it will be Grant, DeMoss, and Petway. Grant 0 for 1. The pitch, grounded to Radcliffe. He throws to Suttles for the first out of the fourth inning. Now it's DeMoss. Bingo. Nearing the end of the line in his career as well, down to 200. The pitch from Powell is hit to center. This is Stearns, and that's 2 gone, 5 in a row for Powell. And now Petway. Bruce with 2 outs and nobody on. Williams on deck. Ground ball, Radcliffe. He throws to Suttles, and that will retire the 17s in the fourth inning. And we're almost to, next inning, we will be to the third time through the order, so Powell will drop a grade after he faces Williams. For the 33s in the bottom of the fourth, it'll be Radcliffe, Brown, and Marshall against Williams. Alex 0 for 1. He scored the only run of the game for the 33s, the only run of the series for the 33s. This is grounded to DeMoss. Bingo throws to Grant, and that is 1 down and 4 in a row for Williams. Larry Brown singled his first time up. Facing Williams now with nobody aboard and 1 man out. This is hit to right. That's Barber. He's coming in a few steps, but he's got plenty of space to make that catch, and there's 2 gone. And now Marshall with Powell on deck. Jack is 1 for 1. The pitch from Williams is grounded to Lloyd. Pop gloves it and throws to Grant. And that retires the 33s in the fourth inning. We go to the fifth. It's 1-1. Williams will lead off. Then we go up to Duncan. And then Francis. All right. Williams bunted successfully in the second, his only trip. The pitch is a error check. Would normally be a range check if it was going to be a hit, but not on the pitcher's card, so we got it popped. That's to third, gloved by Radcliffe. And dropped by Radcliffe, and that's going to be a 1-base error on the 33's third baseman. Williams is aboard, and that's another opening for the 17s. So with nobody out, they've got a man at first. Powell in a jam. He drops to a B rating now because it's the third time through the order. Duncan at the plate. Williams works on his lead. Duncan squares to bunt. He gets it down. This is bunted at Radcliffe, who makes this play and throws to Suttles for the out as Williams moves up to second base. With 1 out now, it's Francis with Williams in scoring position. Not a lot of pitching depth for the 33s. If Powell falls apart here, there's not a lot behind him. Francis is 0 for 1. He reached on an error, and he also scored the only run on after walking in the first. Pitch to Bill. It's an error check. Popped. This is hit toward Willie Wells. Wells makes this play. And on the pop out, that's 2 gone now. And with 2 outs, it'll be Pete Hill. If you can't have Lloyd up in this situation, they would certainly want Hill up in this situation, but Pete is 0 for 2 on the day. Williams ready to try and score if Hill can make contact. Powell to the belt, the pitch to Pete. Okay, he's a B. This is a single. There's a runner in scoring position. And that's going to be caught by Stearns to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 5th. We're halfway through this one, and we have decided nothing. It's 1-1. Going to the bottom of the 5th. For the 33s, it'll be Willie Wells. I'm sorry, that's not true. It'll be Willie Powell, then Willie Wells, and then Steel Arm Davis against Tom Williams in the bottom of the 5th. Tom's still good, A+ third time through the order for him, so he's cruising. Powell up, left-handed batter, the pitch is drilled to left, a base hit that drops, excuse me, drops in front of Duncan. It's a single for Powell, and he's aboard, just like Williams was aboard to lead off the 5th for the 17s. Now it's Willie Wells. 1 for 2 for him. Williams to the belt. Is Wells bunting? The pitch. He's not bunting. The pitch is chopped on the infield over the pitcher's head, and Lloyd can't make the play. It's an infield hit. There's 2 on for the 33s. An infield hit for Wells, and there's 2 on now for Steel Arm Davis. Powell is at second. Wells is at first. Davis at the plate. And as you can see from his rating, he's not a bunter, so 1 for 2 for Steel Arm on the day. Williams in a mess. Nobody out. The pitch from Tom. Hit to center. Pete Hill toward right center. On the run. He will get there. Powell tagging at second. But it's a bluff. He returns and stays put. So now it's Stearns with 1 out. Powell at second. Wells at first. It's a bad idea to keep putting Turkey Stearns in a position to hurt you. Williams to the belt. The pitch home to Turkey. And what did I just say? It's a base hit to center field. Drops in front of Hill. Powell is not quick. He will stop at third. And Wells will stop at second. The bases are now dripping with 33s again. And we'll see if Williams can get out of this. 17s would love to close out this series. Frank Wickware is going to start throwing in the bullpen for the 17s, the old side armor. Williams in a jam. Infield is back. They're going to play for 2. Pitch to Rogers. We got a range check. This is center field. This is Pete Hill. He will get there. But now Powell is tagging. From third. And here he goes. He is safe. A sacrifice fly for Rogers. Scores Powell. It's 2-1 33s. And Suttle's coming to the plate. Mule is 0 for 1. The old chant, kick, mule, kick, is what they're yelling for him. And it's Wells at second and Stearns at first, ready to run. If Suttles gets a hold of one, the pitch. And we have another error check. This is popped high in the air over a 40-ounce bat for Mule. And dropped by DeMoss. Bingo, DeMoss drops it. That will score Wells from second and advance Stearns all the way to third. And Suttles makes it into second base before they can retrieve the ball. It's 3-1 33s with two more runners in scoring position now for Radcliffe. An uncharacteristic mistake by the 17s. So it's 3-1. 33s are leading now. We're in the bottom of the fifth with two outs. Stearns is at third, Suttles is at second, and Radcliffe is at the plate with first base open. Wickware is ready with hands on hips. The pitch to Radcliffe is grounded to Francis. He's going to throw to Grant to retire the 33s, but two big runs. On 3 hits, they leave 2, and a major error leads to one of those runs being unearned. So we go to the 6. It's the 33s 3, the 17s 1, and the 33s clinging to life in a game they must win or be eliminated. Willie Powell back on the mound. He will face the 4, 5, and 6 hitters. For the 17s, it'll be Lloyd, Barber, and Grant in the top of the 6th as the 17s try to rally. The pitch from Powell is ball 4. Yep, that's ball 4. So Lloyd is aboard, and the tying run comes to the plate now in Jesse Barber. Well, Brown is a -12. Lloyd is an 84. Are they going to send him? Barber at bat, Powell to the belt, the pitch home to Barber. He's not going, and that's ball 2. Ball 2 to Barber. He's ahead in the count. Are they going to send Lloyd now? The pitch, Lloyd's not going. The pitch is ball 4. 2 on with nobody out for Grant. Grant is the 6th place hitter. He is 0 for 2. DeMoss on deck. Powell to the belt. Pitch to Leroy. He's not bunting. The pitch is grounded to Radcliffe. Radcliffe fumbles it. He throws to Suttles. They retire Grant, but the runners move up to second and third. Lloyd and Barber are now both in scoring position. A hit from DeMoss, in all probability, ties the game. Willie Powell in a jam. 1 man out. Top of the 6th. DeMoss 0 for 1 with a walk. The pitch to Bingo. No modifiers. It's hit to center. Turkey Stearns getting under it. Pop Lloyd tagging. The throw home, not in time. Lloyd scores on the sacrifice fly. It's 3-2. 33s. And the tying run still at second base in Jesse Barber. Bruce Petway coming to the plate. A 156 hitter. We're in the 6th inning. There's 2 outs. Williams is on deck, and they could walk Petway to get to Williams, but Petway's no offensive force by this point in his career. Powell to the belt. The pitch to Petway, who's 0 for 2. Hit to center. Stearns back a few steps, but will make the catch, and the 33s survive the 6th. After 5.5, it's 3-2 33s, but the 17s are pesky. And they keep hanging around. They keep coming back for more. So, we go to the bottom of the 6th. It's Brown, Marshall, and Powell for the 33s. They want insurance. Brown is 1 for 2. The pitch from Williams. Hit to center, that's Pete Hill. He drifts over into left center a little bit and makes the catch. Jack Marshall comes to the plate. He's 1 for 2. Powell is on deck. Williams winds and delivers. This is a struck him out. That's the first one for Tom Williams, number 1. And that'll bring up Powell with 2 outs and nobody aboard. Willie Wells on deck if Powell can reach, and he is 1 for 1. He also has an RBI on a suicide squeeze bunt. The pitch. Base hit. Powell to left field, drops right in front of Frank Duncan, and he's aboard with 2 outs, and now it's Willie Wells. Willie's 2 for 3. He scored a run. He has stolen a base. Later, he's going to drive everybody home. The pitch. Hit to center. Pete Hill back a few, but he'll make the catch, and that's going to retire the 33s in the 6. We've played 6 complete. It's the 33s 3, the 17s 2, and Tom Williams ready to lead it off for the 17s as we go to the top of the 7th. Then it's Duncan at the top of the order and Francis. Williams is 0 for 1. He bunted. He also reached on an error. The pitch from Willie Powell. Driven to center and deep. Turkey Stearns on the run to the track. He's got it for out number 1. Williams puts a charge into it, but that's all. Frank Duncan with 1 out and nobody on. Powell pitching on guts at this point. Ground ball. Marshall. Jack gloves it and throws to Suttles, and there's 2 gone in the 7th. Now it's Francis, who's 0 for 2, but walked and scored in the 1st. Powell winds and delivers. Line shot by Francis. Off Marshall's glove. They're going to give him an error. Francis will reach on an E4. Not a cleanly played ball game. That's the 4th error for the 33s. And the 17s have committed one themselves, so with 2 outs, Francis is aboard at first base. Pete Hill comes to the plate. And Pete is 0 for 3, but he reached on an error, on one of those 4 errors by the home club. And I'm dropping dice left and right. All right, so Pete wants to drive one in. If he hits one for extra bases, Francis could score. Powell to the belt, the pitch home. Is ball 2. Ball 2. Pete Hill is ahead in the count. 2 balls, no strikes. Powell to the belt again, the pitch. Ground ball, Wells. He's going to go the short way to Marshall, and that will retire the 17s in the 7th. We go to the bottom of the 7th. The 33s are coming with their 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Steel Arm Davis, Turkey Stearns, and Nat Rogers against Tom Williams. Steel Arm Davis is 1 for 3. The pitch to him. Lifted to left, but not deep. Frank Duncan is there, and he will make the catch for out number 1. Turkey Stearns, 33 is looking for insurance. Williams winds. Stearns is 1 for 3. The pitch from Williams. Base hit, Stearns, center field, right up the gut. Pete Hill collects it and throws it back in. That's Turkey's second hit. And it's Nat Rogers coming to the plate 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly to his credit. Wickware starts throwing again in the bullpen. The pitch to Rogers. Lifted to center. Pete Hill back. Pete Hill to the track. Pete Hill's got it. And Stearns retreats to first base. Suttle's coming to the plate now with 2 outs and Stearns still on first. Mule is 0 for 2 with a walk. The pitch from Williams. Base hit, center field. Stearns stops at second. Pete Hill's got a gun. 2 on now with 2 outs for Radcliffe, who just made an error in the field, wants to atone. 0 for 3 with a run scored for Alex. He is double duty Radcliffe's brother. Williams to the belt, the pitch home. Popped on the wind, is playing tricks with it. What's going to happen? DeMoss makes the catch. Holy Toledo, that could have been disaster. But DeMoss holds on, and that retires the 33s in the 7th. We got 2 innings to play. The 33s clinging to their existence in the tournament with a 3-2 lead. For the 17s, it's Pop Lloyd, Jesse Barber, Leroy Grant against Powell. Oh, wait a minute. No, it's not. Powell's coming out. Powell's got to come out. That's it for him. He is out of gas. So, let's find a relief pitcher. And that's where the pickings get slim. It's going to be Melvin Powell. Yeah, it's going to be Melvin Powell. So He will bat ninth in the order. As Willie Powell can go no further in this one. So Melvin Powell's ratings, he is an E. He can go 2 innings. He has no modifiers. And the 17s have a golden opportunity. Pop Lloyd leads off. He's 0 for 2, but he's also walked and scored a run. He is the leader of this team. The pitch. Center field, Turkey Stearns coming on. He's got it, and there's one gone in the 8th. Jesse Barber 1 for 2 with a ribby and a walk. Pitch is grounded to Suttles. He gloves it and will take it unassisted for 2 gone in the 8th. And now Leroy Grant, 271, 0 for 3 on the day. This is hit to center. Stearns into right center a little bit and makes the catch. It's a 1-2-3 inning for the very shaky Melvin Powell, and we're going to the bottom of the 8th. Tom Williams coming back out to face Larry Brown, Jack Marshall, and Melvin Powell for the 33s who would love some insurance. Brown is 1 for 3. Williams winds and delivers. Hit to right. This is Jesse Barber over toward the line and makes the catch. 1 gone in the 8th. Now Jack Marshall 1 for 3. Williams winds and delivers. Ground ball, Francis. He throws to Grant. There's 2 gone. And now Melvin Powell, who more dangerous with the stick than he is on the mound, but his job is to try and close this thing out. Tom Williams winds and delivers to Melvin. Hey, struck him out, and that is Tom Williams' second strikeout of the ball game. We have completed 8 in Chicago at Comiskey Park. It's 3-2 to the 33s. If the 17s can win this game, they move on. If the 33s win this game, we're back here for Game 3. For the 17s, it's the bottom third of the order. DeMoss, Petway, and Tom Williams in the top of the 9th. They need 1 run to keep this thing going. 3-2 33s. DeMoss is 0 for 1. He has hit a sacrifice fly, and he has walked. The pitch from Powell is grounded to Marshall. He throws to Suttles, and there's 1 man out in the 9th. Petway comes up. Now let's think about the bench. There's a lot more bench in 1933 than there is in 1917. These clubs didn't want to pay for extra players. George Dixon is a potential pinch hitter. So is Cannonball Dick Redding. So it's going to be Dixon. Oh, boy. Yeah, they're going to do it. They're going to go to Dixon to pinch hit for Petway. Against Powell. Powell winds and delivers. Base hit, Dixon up the middle, and Stearns collects it and throws it back in. Now it's Williams due, and he's not going to bat either. They're going with Cannonball Dick Redding. So Redding will pinch hit here in the ninth for the pitcher. Let's see if they can run anybody at all. Do they have another catcher? See that? The bench is short, gang. The bench is very short. They do not have another catcher, so that's it. Dixon's got to go. Redding at the plate. There's one man out. Powell to the belt. Checks Dixon at first. The pitch. Popped in the air. This could be trouble. The wind is taking it. Jack Marshall having trouble. Jack Marshall drops the ball. The fifth error for the 33s. And it's first and second now for the 17s. So with 2 on and 1 out, it's Frank Duncan. Melvin Powell hanging on for dear life. Making another check of the 33's bullpen. There just ain't much there. So they got 1 run to play with. They're ahead 3-2, but the lead run is at first base. The tying run is at second base. There's 1 man out, and the top of the order, Frank Duncan at the plate. Melvin Powell to the belt. The pitch to Duncan. Ground ball, Wells. Diving stop. A flip to Marshall for 1. To Suttles for 2. And that is the ball game. Frank Duncan hits into a soul-crushing, rally-killing, game-ending double play to keep the 33 Chicago American Giants alive. Holy Toledo. And Melvin Powell has earned a save. Willie Powell gets the win. The loser is Tom Williams. The line scores for the victorious 33 Chicago American Giants, 3 runs. On 9 hits, and they committed 5 brutal errors for the vanquished 1917 Chicago American Giants, who had opportunities and could have eliminated the 33s, and now it's a do or die for them. 2 runs on 2 hits, and they committed 1 error. So, the matchup in Game 3 will have the potential for a slugfest because the 33s will send Willie Cornelius to the mound, and he is an E pitcher on the road. And the 17s have Tom Johnson going for them, and he will be a C at home. So we'll see if We'll see if the runs start to score in Game 3. The series is now tied at 1 game apiece. The 17s won Game 1, 2-0. The 33s won Game 2, 3-2. Boy, this is a tournament. These teams, even. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate your interest in the Pine Tar Baseball Negro League's Great Teams Tournament. There will be more of this tournament coming in the next few days. Keep watching, subscribe to my channel, and you'll get all the updates. Thank you again for joining me. We got to stick together, people. My name's Kurt Berglund. So long, everybody.